Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Fringe North podcast. My name is Caitlin Townsend. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm the project coordinator for this year's festival. And I have with me here today Garrett and Robert. Would each of you like to take a moment to introduce yourselves and talk a little bit about your submission for this year's festival?
Sure. I can start that. My name is Garrett Ryan. My pronouns are he, him, and I am the artistic director of Bird on Stage, which is the company that we are producing this work through. I am also the writer and one of the co-directors and co-actors for this production. And I'll let Robert introduce himself, and then I can talk a little bit about the show.
Hi, my name is Robert Leitner. My pronouns are he, him. I am one of the co directors as well, and I'll be playing Riley Novak in the production of Old Man on Young.
Great. Yeah, so I will be playing Alex McDonald in this production of Old Man on Young. I guess I should have said my character name, but you'll find out if you check it out. So basically, what we wanted to do is just, work on a project that Robert and I both really got to dig into some characters and just do really some classic two-hander kitchen sink kind of drama that we haven't really been able to get our hands on for a long while, or what feels like a long while with COVID and everything. So basically, our show is a play about a married couple, and without revealing too much, their world is kind of shaken when they receive a letter in the mail and are forced to sort of confront a lot of demons that have been affecting their relationship. And then we kind of see some of the backstory of this and how these things kind of leak and find their way into the present. And yeah, we're very excited.
That sounds awesome. We're very excited to have you as part of the festival as well. Um, what was the inspiration for this piece, and why did you decide to submit this particular piece for our festival this year?
Yeah, so this has been a show that I have been interested in delving into for a while. As a writer, it's been something that we've talked about doing for a few years now, as sort of a piece that would be great for opportunities for acting and kind of minimalistic directing that would really lend itself to the Fringe style. And I think something for me that made me want to dust off this piece is that I just got engaged about a month and a half ago, and
Congrats.
thank you so much. And sort of the lead up to that, and then me getting engaged, and now I'm in the engagement period. It's been making me want to go back to this particular piece and really explore the idea of love and the effect to love, and how in the future we're going to have to kind of rethink our ideas of love and commitment and relationships and marriage and all that. So for me, it was just it felt like the perfect time to do this piece. And it was also, on top of that, just a great easy piece that we could rehearse in these kind of difficult times. And yeah, so that's my inspiration there, I guess.
Um, Something for me that I can speak more on, I didn't write the piece, obviously, but I can speak on something that drew me to it was I think that the characters really just stand out. There's something real, very real about them, and kind of in an uncomfortable way,
Mm.
where they feel what's the word I'm looking for? They feel like they're alive, and especially when you're playing them, it really makes you have to understand and confront your own ideas of forever and what it means to be in a relationship and commitment. So I think that that's what really drew me to this piece. Plus, it's always fun to work with Garrett. Yeah.
That's exciting. So this isn't your first time working together then. So how long have you worked together, and how many projects, and kind of how did that relationship develop in terms of uh, like working together as artists?
Um,
Yeah.
Do you want to go?
Oh, you can take it. I've been talking a lot.
Sure. I moved to Canada back in 2014 from Miami, and I think that's when I started really to get into theater. And through high school productions and doing like the Sears Festival, formerly known as the Sears Festival, really started to work with, and that's when Garrett and I met and really started to become friends and stuff. And he likes theater, I liked theater, so I think we just kind of hit it off through that. And then as the more shows we did, he back in 2016 going into 2017, he actually directed me in a piece for the Sears Festival, and I think that's what really started to work with and really form the bond relationship that we have for theater as well. And then after that, we started doing Fringes together back in 2018, and since then, almost every show that I've been in has been involved with Garrett.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, it's like he said, we really started to get that working relationship even back in high school when I casted him in our production. And I think for me, once you find someone that you work well with, you just gotta, hold on to those relationships. I think this has got to be like our fifth production or something that we've done together. And we both moved from Northern Ontario to Toronto, where we're living right now. We are in the same apartment currently. We're in different rooms, but we live together. We've been able to do a ton of work together, and it's just been a artistic relationship that I think will keep going for a long time and has been really good for the both of us to improve as both theater makers and people, I think.
It's gotten to the point where I think it's a bit of a unhealthy relationship. I feel like everything I do artistically, I have to go through Garrett to see what he thinks, and just I really trust in what Garrett has to say, and I think that this is a working relationship that is something I cherish a lot, and I don't think I'd be here without it. So yeah.
That's awesome. And so I'm wondering, with that, kind of having worked together for several years at this point, do you feel like I guess with every every time you bring another artist into a project, it everybody brings their own flavor, I guess is the way I'm trying to say it. So with working together for so long and knowing each other's flavor, do you find that makes it easier, having worked on working on newer projects, knowing each other's rhythms and patterns from the past, or how do you find that plays out?
Yeah, I think absolutely. It really has aided us in this project in particular. We found right from the beginning, once we started to rehearse, we were, right in sync with each other. And we're not always necessarily acting alongside each other. Sometimes I'm directing him, sometimes we're in different roles. But even like it's been a while since we've been up on stage, both of us acting off each other, and we're able to pick up on each other's rhythms. We have a very similar acting style. I think we both really like that kind of realistic, raw style, and we feed off each other very well. So it's a lot easier for us, I think, to delve into a new work because we have that relationship. But another thing that I want to add as well is that I think often we try to mix it up in terms of genres and styles of acting, and that's been a way to really keep our collaborations fresh, I think. Like this, like I said, is a very sort of kitchen sink drama, like classic realistic kind of acting. And then the last time we were up on stage together, it was very surrealist and Hitchcockian, and so it's been fun that we can kind of mesh with each other even if we're doing different styles, I think.
Especially for, I think, Fringes, which is things that we've mostly worked on. I think an ideology that we both like to have is that this is the time to explore and to expand. So especially with these Fringes, like Garrett said, over the past couple of years, we've really explored different genres and different styles of shows that I think when you're going into something new, it really allows for you to keep fresh and keep it alive. I think that we have a very good relationship in that way, that we kind of can understand each other, as well as I think that we both are able to take each other's criticism which I think is something that's very important.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time it's Garrett telling me, but I think it's something that's very valuable to have, and we can have those conversations. They never get hostile because we know it's
Mm-hmm.
for the art, and it's, you know, to make the best piece possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, being able to separate that like personal side of things and viewing
Mhm.
it as the project and not like a mark against you as an
Yeah.
individual.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so having worked together in Fringe festivals during a regular season, and then this is obviously a very unique time with going fully digital, how do you find navigating that shift? Is it something that has influenced how you approach this piece, or is it something that would you be approaching it in the same way if it was live theater, and how does that impact this year's submission?
Yeah, we have certainly been through a roller coaster during this Fringe season. Um, Long story short, we've gone through a variety of different formats that have led us to the place we are now. Both of us were also in university studying theater. I just graduated. He's coming into his third year. And so we've had a lot of time to kind of play around with the different styles of digital theater. So that's been a sort of leg up on helping us kind of get in the door on the different ways we could approach this. But it was only pretty recently we had the opportunity to go film the production that we will be submitting on a stage. So we were able to approach it very similarly to if we were doing a sort of a live production, obviously without an audience presence. There's going to be a different energy, and I think some of the blocking that we've done, we've sort of said, oh, but this might not work if we're in front of an audience, but now that we have cameras, we can approach it with more subtlety. We can kind of alter the way we're facing. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be tailored to where the audience is in the space. So even though we've kind of landed at this place where we're really mounting a play on a stage and we'll be filming it, it will be a little bit kind of tailored to this digital format still.
Mhm. I think that especially with this year, like last year, we ended up doing some sort of a short film, which was very different than the things that we've normally done because we've mostly done theater. So last year through On the Edge Fringe, when they did it digitally, we really were like, we're going to do a short film, and we're really going to explore this different media and in medium that we, you know, haven't really explored before. But this year, because we were given this opportunity, I think that we decided to let's make it a play. You know, normally we're rehearsing in Garrett's basement when we're back up north, but this time we're now rehearsing in our apartment's living room. So things changed slightly, but I think that overall it's been a lot of fun and very, very similar in that way.
Mhm. That's really exciting. So you had shared earlier that this piece is about kind of love and relationships. And Garrett, you mentioned choosing to dive into it specifically because you did get engaged. So I'm wondering, like, if diving into this content has shifted your relationship with your partner in any way, or how, like I guess the benefits for viewers if they are in a relationship, what they might be able to gain from this piece.
Hmm. That's a very interesting question. I think um, I have, with this play, been able to really confront a lot of my fears with relationships and with marriage, and also with other things that we delve into. We delve into a lot with religion and mental health, and that's sort of been something that we've been able to tackle a lot as well. So for me as an individual, I've been able to really sort of confront my demons, so to speak, I guess. And in terms of what other people can get from this, I think we do a good job at presenting two very distinct sides of an argument. Because I would sort of frame this play as one big argument between the two characters. And I think we really show that there are two equally valid sides to this conversation, which I don't want to give too much away, but you'll see when you watch it. But we really show sort of a balanced take of what I think is going to be an inevitable conversation in the future. Maybe not with me and my fiance, but it will be with future generations. So I think if anything, people can sort of look at this play and understand that we're eventually going to end up here, and these are going to be real conversations that people going into committed relationships are going to have.
Sorry, did you have something to add,
Yeah,
Robert?
I think just from my perspective, it's a bit different. I'm not engaged, but I think something that what this play did for my view on relationships and the idea of togetherness, I think has really made me shape it to more of you have to really look at it in the now. You can't look too far in the future. You have to really just live in the now and appreciate the moments that you have with your partner, whether it is the good or the bad. You have to understand that this is a part of the process, and if you are truly committed on both ends, that you have to really focus in on, like, now is what's important. It'll come eventually. We can get there when we get there, but we really need to be in the present. So yeah.
That's awesome. That sounds really exciting. Yeah, I'm interested too in if you can share enough without giving anything away, but like you said that you dive into some issues with like mental health and as well as religion being another topic. How does that come up into this particular play?
Yeah, it's I'm trying to think of a way to frame this without really giving away too much. I think in any long-term relationship, these are going to be factors that are really going to influence the strength of a bond. So for me, for example, like I don't mind sharing some of my personal experiences. I struggle a lot with anxiety. I especially this past year during COVID times, it's been really hard for me, and it's really tested the strength of my relationship with my fiance, and I think it's really brought us closer in the end. So I think in this show, it's really like an exploration of like how these factors like like how these factors can or really need to be, let's say, how these factors really need to be unearthed for the success of a relationship. They need to be unearthed. They need to be properly examined. They need to be properly discussed, because in a long-term commitment, they're going to come up and they're going to change people's outlook on life.
Yeah,
If you, sorry.
that sounds great. And yeah, that's I feel like COVID being a time where relationships are kind of being tested a little bit now, with the new dynamic of people being trapped together, or if you're not living together, kind of like having too much space in some cases too. So it's like this one extreme to the next, and trying to navigate that and what that means for relationships and how to I think we're all just having a little bit of a shift in terms of what a relationship is, and reevaluating things during this time. So I think it's very timely to choose this piece right now. I don't know if that
Yeah,
was intentional,
absolutely.
but
I think it definitely, all of that really factored into the work we did here. Like I said, this has been something, it's been an idea that's been brewing for a few years now, but I think um, the fact that I fully sat down and took everything and reworked everything and got a script done this year, it like all of that COVID stuff factored in. Even if this play isn't taking place in like a COVID world necessarily, it is really it's there. You know, like the themes that and the struggles that we've all been living in the past year and a half or so are really like they're present in the piece for sure.
yeah. So from each of your perspectives, what are you hoping that audiences is take away from this piece and what they gain from having attended it?
I think for me, something that I hope people take away from this piece is, as cliche as it could sound, a self-reflective view on the way look at the world in general. I think on top of it, really making me rethink my idea of relationships and how they work. I think as a human, I've looked at the idea of needing to don't look too far into the future, really needing to evaluate where I am now and allowing myself and trying to do the best I can to make myself better. And that it's not a bad thing to really, let your demons win sometimes because you need to confront them. And I think that's one of those things where I hope it allows people to be able to look at themselves and truly understand and maybe hopefully help them in some way.
Yeah, for sure. And I think for me, the kind of like snappy catchphrase kind of what I want people to take away from this is the idea that utopia is subjective. That's what I've been saying. That's kind of been our thing that we've kept going back to. Just because one person has this idea of the near or far future that sounds like the perfect world, the perfect scenario for themselves, that might for another person be the absolute worst possible case. And I think our piece really explores two sides of two sides um, perspective looking towards the future, I guess. Like we delve into some really futuristic concepts. I wouldn't necessarily label this show like science fiction, but there is sort of a science fiction element that gets kind of tossed into the reality of this world. And for some, they might hear about this idea of the future and go, that sounds absolutely fantastic. And that would be more like Robert's character in this show. And then there are some that go, hold on, this sounds like the worst possible outcome, the worst thing society could be heading towards. And that's sort of my character's perspective. It's hard to, delve into it too much without giving anything away. But I think for me, that's the quickest way I can say it, to say all that, is utopia is subjective.
If I could jump in really quick too, just because I think that something I love about this piece and something that will, I think, inevitably be something that people take away is that I don't think there is a right answer with this piece. And I think that that's what makes it so interesting for me, is that there are going to be people at the end of the show who think one of the choices is better, and then there are others who will think the other choice is better. There's no right answer, I think, and I think that's what really intrigues me and what I think will really help and bring people in. Yeah.
Yeah, intriguing was definitely the word I was thinking of the whole time that you were sharing there. And yeah, like it sounds really exciting, and I'm interested to learn more and to come check out the show.
Yeah.
I'm just noticing the time. So is there any final thoughts that you have, or anything that you wanted to address or for audience members to know about before we close off?
The only thing that I would say, if we can plug some of our social media, if you want to check out some of our progress, I suppose, or anything related to this project, we are at Bird on Stage on Instagram, and we are Bird on Stage Productions on Facebook. Especially coming into the next few weeks nearing Fringe, we will be posting a lot more actively, and you can find out a lot more information about the shows and the characters and everything like that.
That sounds awesome. Any final thoughts on your end, Robert?
I mean, he took the words to my mouth. I just hope that people enjoy the show, and I think that I've had and still am having so much fun doing this, and I can't wait to see the final product.
Yeah. So thank you for coming on today, and for folks watching, definitely check out the socials, as well as the festival will be running August 19th to 22nd. It'll be all digital. So purchase a ticket, come on out and support Bird on Stage, and we'll see you all there. Thank you for your time, Robert and Garrett, and thank you for our viewers to watching. Miigwech, merci, and gracias, and we'll see you all at the festival. Have a great day. Thank you for watching our podcast. Merci, miigwech, gracias. If you like what we're doing, you can support Fringe North and the artists involved in this year's festival financially so that we can continue this work. Visit www.fringenorth.ca to find out more.